the thing with the practical effects is always the question of the repeated things. That because, it's easy to burn the house, but you have to keep the burning house for 2 days in the same level of the burning, and that's the trick. That's the tricky thing to do.
It's nice to meet you both. My first question is, can you tell us a little bit about where we are in Tarvalon? This is a very real place.
Yeah, so we are at the tea room at the Tarvalon, and we introduced that space in the first season when we saw Moraine having tea here and watching light blessing in, which was just behind us in that corner, like when we saw that in the first season.
When I first walked in,
yeah,
you guys turned on the water. We got a very real effect. Can you talk about using practical effects like that on a practical, real set like this?
Yeah, that's actually the goal is that we want to use as much practical effects as possible, for that show, and we know that we've got a very strong visual effects department behind us, which helps us to prove it or just to create little adjustments to practical effects. But whatever we do, whenever we go, and there is, for example, rain involved, we want to make it practical. We want to cover as much area as possible, that you will really believe that it just happens, and it's strong. And it's with the wind, with the smoke, with the fires, wherever whatever we're gonna use, we want to use it as close as possible to reactors, as close as with the explosion, as close as possible to the camera, that it really looks dangerous and realistic.
In a large standing set, such as the streets of Tarvalon, we have water effects we talked about, but wind and lighting effects and fire or whatever. How does that affect how you build and station all the details? Because the water, does that affect the materials on a set like this?
Yes, definitely. So we have to know that actually, for example, like the whole pavement is like it's a concrete which is actually scratched and modulated to look like a stone, but it's a concrete, but it's a regular pavement which can survive like years. And the same thing that once we are doing the facade, which is mostly like boards and the plaster molds on it. We have to be sure that actually we are fixing everything in the way that actually there'll be rain, there'll be like a snow, there'll be like a heavy wind. So we have to think about that. And another thing is like if there's access for the fire, we have to think about how to bring the fire there, how to use we have practical fireplaces, fire pits, and also there has to be the access how to get the gas there, and how to be able to use it and be safe there. Because the thing with the practical effects is always the question of the repeated things. That because it's easy to burn the house, but you have to keep the burning house for 2 days in the same level of the burning, and that's the trick. That's the tricky thing to do. Because you can do like rain for a few minutes, but to make the same rain, for 2 days, that's the thing about the special effects, that has to be kind of constant, has to repeat, and has to be safe as well.
So there is a discussion between once the set is built, can we do that there, or for after a whole day raining, you'll be standing deep in the puddle, so you need to think where the water will go, because you are really sending a lot of many liters, so fires on the facades, if you're using torches or braziers, so we have to watch out if the materials are just strong enough that we just don't burn the set, So it has to be all safe, all watched out and planned before.
With that in mind, which is the most challenging set to execute or work on?
Well, depends on the gag which we're doing, for example, Ondřej was mentioning that we are burning house, which we were burning house there. In this season, and the location just didn't allow us to do it on that place because it was too dangerous, and we built the sets on actually even on the stages, so we had the interior of it. So, and as well the fire couldn't start there on the interior of the set, so there was like a combination for all the departments how to make it practically. So we were lighting that by just the electric lamps, by the flame bars which were standing by, and then we built a completely new house which we burned just as an element. And we the visual effect just later added it to that takes which were shot before, So
For the larger sets and something as extravagant as Tarvalon, how long do you have to build it?
So we had 18 weeks to build the Tarvalon, and imagine the week has 6 working days because we couldn't go with the 5. We have to go with the 6, and these 18 weeks is kind of like a minimum to build a set like that. But of course, before that, we do have a kind of time for the designing. So we do have the general designs, and usually it's working like that. The construction team is getting the general drawings of the facades, but we are still working on the details and the doors and the windows and shutters, and these things are coming later to the workshops.
And can you talk to me about how many sets there are here in Prague and some of the other locations you shot at in other countries?
So in Prague, we have that our base is the Jordan Studio in Prague. And we have 6 large stages here, which are completely full of the sets. Plus, we have another big stage nearby, which is a 10 minutes drive from here, which is contained the key set of the White Tower and all of these places. And after that, we have this backlot area where we have the Tarvalon set, and after that we have our place outside of Prague, where we have the 2 rivers as our backlot set. So we have these two big backlots at the moment, plus 7 large stages. Permanent, all the time. They are really focused only on the show. So, and if we need more, we are renting other stages for the specific scenes.
In season 2, we're seeing a lot more characters and more powerful characters who are channeling. And I know there's visual effects there, but can you talk about scaling up the SFX part of that to realize these bigger action sequences?
Again, first comes the script, and we read what's the need of that action. So we have to discuss, how big are we really gonna make it on the set, or is the channeling, gonna be done later on by visual effects, or because sometimes you just can't use a strong wind on the small location because you will break the location. So it depends on it's depending on the day, when you are and what you're doing. So it's never the same. Every day is different.
For my last question for both of you, what are you most excited for audiences to see when season 2 comes out?
I think that we are introducing more new locations, but I think that it'll be really, for audience, will be interesting to be in Faun, which is a new city which we are introducing at the second half of the second season, and our great finale is actually there. So I think that will be really something special for the audience because we have a lot of scenes there, a lot of story going on there, and I think there will be really something different for the audience.
Yeah, getting to the great final, it's very, very. It's a cool moment, We've got a great battle there, and just the beginning, how it all started, it's amazing, and there is a lot of fire gonna be happening, fireballs, we've got explosions, there's a big battle, so we should be really looking forward.
Awesome. Thank you both. I appreciate it.
Thank you.